last week on a Wednesday show. Actually, we were speaking about should Chelsea move stadiums right now. That conversation came up. It's a shame it didn't come up the day before when Dom was on with us, as Potsy was on holiday. And all I said is, until you actually know who's going to own your club, the direction they're going in, and that you buy into their plans, don't move stadiums now. Don't sell your soul to it, because you need to understand and fully believe in what they're trying to do. And I think that there's a lot of football fans are like moths when we get attracted to the bright lights. You know, Magpies, oh, that's shiny. You know, I'm going to go and grab it, as opposed to looking at what the longer term plans are. And again, Spurs fans are accountable, though. The same as I said this about the Glazers, and I was part of this problem for a long time. If you know that they don't have winning football matches and winning trophies as their main priority, if you believe that, but yet you are still giving the club money, in my opinion, you are as guilty as that owner. Now, if you don't believe that, then it makes total sense. But again, I always go back to this. When I was talking to my dad moaning about the Glazers, about they don't care about winning, they just care about making money and profit off of us. And my dad just said, then why are you funding that? I didn't have an argument that held any water. I gave my dad all the same excuses I used to get on Twitter. But if I give up my ticket, somebody else will take it. I said that to my dad. He went, but that's making you fund these people you think are ruining your club because someone else might get your seat. How does that make sense? And this is the problem. Spurs fans, they had a protest about the Levy and EVIC. 7 people turned up and they played on a guitar. 7 people turned up and played on a guitar or a banjo or something outside the stadium. 7. The shop, all of the 7 also had gift bags from the shop they went in prior. This is and I understand football fans are not customers, but if you're treated like customers, yield that power. Customers of businesses don't understand sometimes how powerful they are, because if they're only interested in people that are only interested in money are so simplistic to control. You take the money away. Genuinely, I see it all the time on X now or Twitter. Oh, Elon Musk has ruined the platform. Leave then. Because you know, if everybody really thought it was bad and left, they'd change it to make everyone come back, right? So if you actually want change, do something. Stop moaning about it all the time. Maybe that's the bit with Spurs fans where I get it, and I see Spurs fans on streams moaning about the owners in the new kit with the renewed membership, and I'm like, they're not going to change. Why you keep funding them?
To be fair though, if without being hypocritical, we have done that before. I have seen it with our ownership with the European Super League, where people have turned up to a protest with a Kroenke scarf around their head, going "Kroenke out," and they've just bought the new scarf. So we have seen that.
All clubs, and I'm not saying Spurs are unique in this.
It is all clubs.
I think all of our clubs kind of do this, and it frustrates me though, because I get it from kids, but when you're an adult and you look at it again, I'm not talking about a club. Say City's owners made a decision next week their fans didn't like. I think they've got the right to moan about it and ask them to change. But you can tell City's fans want to win. We're going to get onto them a bit later, but you can tell they want to win. So you haven't got a boycott then. But if you've sat there and gone for 20 years, the Glazers, all they've wanted to do is drain money out of us. Why are you giving them that money to drain out the club? And I'm not saying it makes you a bad fan. I'm just saying I don't think, and it's hard because whenever you say it, people take it so personally. But I think I was accountable. Every kit I bought, and even now we've got the Ineos in. Until I see a plan of action of how there's a process to buy them out, I'm still not putting any money into it. The reason I'm not putting any money into it is because I don't want to help fund something that might keep the Glazers here another 10 years. Just my stance. Does it make me a better fan? Does it make me a better person? I'm not trying to claim that. But Spurs supporters almost universally hate their owners, but continue funding it. I don't understand. I don't understand it, if I'm being absolutely honest.
Do you think Andrew gets sacked
and make them change?
Do you think Andrew gets sacked in the next few weeks?
See, this is the thing with Spurs' owners. I think there's a lot of similarities between them and the Glazers. And I think, say they get knocked out by Coventry tomorrow night. If Coventry knock them out and they go out of that tournament, and the fans turn and the match day fans turn, they have the kind of owners that are quite reactive in that way. It was, well, do you know what, right? If we get rid of Ange and then we bring in a manager that gets everybody a little bit excited, the owners get left alone for a period of time. Same thing with, and I recognize this as an answer Glazer. Every time we sacked him, the Glazers would only really get pressure when a manager was struggling. We'd sack whoever, Jose, bring in Ollie, And for a year, 18 months, it would just be about manager in, manager out. Ollie would go, new guy comes in, everyone leaves the owners alone, spend a bit of money in the transfer window. And that's what the owners at Spurs do. They know that they can pull the wool over their fans' eyes with a couple of shiny new toys. They are like that dad who is not there for his kids, but then turns up once in a blue moon with a new PlayStation game. Oh, my dad's amazing. He's not really. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't come to your football matches, doesn't read your bedtime story, doesn't teach you how to do anything, but just turns up with a present every now and then and looks like a hero. That is what these owners do. So he could be sacked because the owners are heavily, heavily reactionary, and they just know it's going to put everyone on side, especially if the new manager comes in and wins.
After that Man United game, I want to see where they're at.
The problem is that I've got
Brentford and Man United. That's the next three, isn't it? So Coventry, Brentford, and Man United. I want to know where they're after that. I think he'll get those 3 games and see where we're at after that.
No, it's all right. The problem I've got with it is, like when a manager's going to start looking at it and go, nah, I can't do anything. Because the only managers that I think you can really now start to attract at Spurs, is like young, up-and-coming, De Zerbi type ones. Because Tuchel's not going to go there. No more Conte style manager or Jose. Because I'm not being funny, right? If you're a manager on that level, you're looking at it going, all right, well, Pochettino went there, got them to a final, and then got sacked. Conte's been there, got sacked. Mourinho got them to a final and then got sacked before the final. Postecoglou's now there, and then let's say he gets sacked. At what point do managers go, well, if they've not done it, well, what chance have I got? That club does not enable the team to have success because of the way that it's operated.
I think this has already happened, though, hasn't it? So I'm going to end up getting my dates wrong here. But when they appointed Nuno, who came in before Conte, wasn't it 7, 8? No, it might have been more. 7 or 8, I'm being conservative. It could have been as much as 13 or 14 managers said no before they went to Nuno. One of them was Conte. Nuno did badly. He got sacked. And then Conte came into the football club. This has happened to Tottenham. And a lot of us kind of came out and did content up until like December last year and said, maybe we got Big Ange wrong. But if we remember when they employed Big Ange, most people, including a lot of Tottenham fans, were laughing and saying, who is this like unknown, relatively unknown manager who's been in Scotland, who prior to that was managing Koala Bears FC or whatever they're called. They've got a name like that, Koala FC or Kangaroo FC. You looked at his CV and went, that's scraping the barrel. And this isn't like a 35-year-old new manager. This is someone who's been around, coaching 15, 20 years. I think what you're saying, LB, has already happened. Yes, they got Conte, and it was almost like, but he'd already said no to them once. And then I think he came in and almost straight away was saying, I bloody regret doing this. I think you're absolutely right. I think there is a reputational risk. Nearly every manager that goes to Tottenham leaves with huge amount of baggage, controversy, and their reputation in tatters. Every single one of them gets hurt by that football club. And I don't think this is about, I'm not even bashing Spurs. I'm bashing the people that run their club. The people that are the custodians of what is a legendary football club. And this is the first club to win a double, which is huge. This is, some of the achievements in the early stages of Tottenham Hotspur were massive. But for the last 20 or so years, they have been run purely and simply as a commercial business, making profit and growing the valuation to sell for a profit. And the fact that Spurs fans roll over and have their bellies tickled annoys me. Stand up, be counted, and make a change for the club that you undoubtedly love. But sometimes tough love is needed. And I've always given this example, and I don't care if it triggers people. I have 3 children. Heaven forbid none of them ever get hooked on a substance. But you've got 2 types of parents in that situation. Some that, do you know what? I don't want to see him go cold turkey and be in pain. I'm going to go out and buy it for him. I'll go and buy you a bottle of this, or I'll go and buy you a hit of that. Or you've got what I would like to think I would do. I'm locking you in the room until you sweat that shit out and then you go in rehab. I don't care the pain. I don't care the screaming. Tough love. And that for me is what you've got to do to your club. Maybe you've got to sacrifice. Maybe you've got to hurt your club to help it go forward. Sometimes in life, to move a car, sometimes you've got to reverse before you go forward. And I know it's not what you want to do because you love your club. But if they really believe their ownership is that bad, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. They're not. They're just going to keep growing the value of your club until eventually they sell it for multiple billions. And in the meantime, what are you doing? I don't like seeing Tottenham treated in this way at all. I really don't. And I think the fans have got to practice tough love. They really do.
No, I completely agree. I completely agree with everything you said. That club is being used and the fan base is being used. Yeah, and you need to get that guy out because, out of the top 6 clubs, Spurs are the only ones that don't win anything. United last year, worst Premier League season of all time, still won an FA Cup. Yeah. Like Chelsea won Champions League a few years ago, won multiple Premier Leagues. Arsenal have stacked up FA Cups over the last 20 years. Yeah, Liverpool, Champions League, City won stuff as well. Spurs are the only club that doesn't win anything. And you can see that as an attack if you want. Or you can actually see it as like, oh yeah, that's a decent point. Why are Spurs the only Big 6 club that doesn't win anything? Because your club isn't designed to win with the current board and the current ownership model.
And they've tried everything as well, Abby. This is the thing. When they got Conte and appointed him, I spoke to my mate and we had a disagreement about it. And I said, well, at least they've shown a little bit of ambition with a top quality manager. And they went, that's not ambition, man. That's desperation. If this does not work, they are finished. They've tried everything. They've tried the proven manager. They've tried the winning manager. They've tried the CV manager that says, look at me, I win stuff. They've tried the youth project manager in Poch. They've tried the Nuno with a style. Now they've gone to Ange Postecoglou. And it's like, this just ain't working. Nobody can win here. It's crazy. I mean, it's brilliant, but no one can win here. And like us, do you really think Spurs are a Big 6 club? Do we look at them as a Big 6 club? Yeah, of course they are. They're known as one, but what makes them a Big 6 club? And how long can they stay in this Big 6? Because if Villa start winning trophies, they're going to have to be cast as the Big 6, are they? I don't understand it. When do they get drop out of Big 6?
Top six is top 6, Big 6. I think it's partly based on income and size.
Yeah,
but then you look at the rich 6. But then you've also got the element. I mean, like if Villa have 2 seasons running as a Champions League qualifying team, if they pick up a trophy in that period, this is a team that already has 2 Champions Leagues, or is it 1? I swear it's 2.
Yeah, I thought they had 1, but maybe they had 2 of them. Villa, yeah.
I thought they had 2. No, I don't know they have 1. I think it's Forest that have 2.
It's Forest that have 2. Yeah,
Forest they won 2 in a row, didn't they?
Let's have a little look here. Cups.
Yeah, Villa got 1. Forest got 2.
Yeah, they got 1. They've got 1. So, but this is a team that already has a Champions League to its name. This team has won. Look at it now, right? Aston Villa, they've won the European Cup or the Champions League. They've won the Super Cup. They've won 7 FA Cups in their time, 5 League Cups. They've won 7 what you would call Premier League titles. They won them when it was a championship, but they've won 7 of them. Villa are not a small football club either. And if they start qualifying and start winning, you do get replaced in that kind of category. And that's why I think Spurs, again, whenever you have these conversations, and when I have these conversations privately with Spurs friends of mine, they get it. Speak to my dad about it. He gets it. But I'm not even attacking them. I'm not trying to be horrible. I just look at it and think, how can you expect, was it the definition of insanity? How can you expect different results when you're practicing the same thing year in, year out? How can you expect your club to get different results? And I think what you said, LB, just resonated with me around the signings they make. And you look at someone like a Dominic Solanke, you look at someone like a Brennan Johnson, they probably think expensive, but not 80, 90 million. Do you know what? If we can bring them in and they replicate that Bournemouth form, they replicate that Forest form, we might get 70 million for them when we sell them. Maybe there's an element here of almost, are you buying players you think can win you trophies, or are you buying players that you think we could flip for a 10, 15, 20, 30 million pound profit in a few years' time? And at least when they did that, when they were selling the Defoes and they were selling the Keanes and the Carricks and the Berbatovs, at least they were letting players go. What's been really weird is that they've held on to some of these players, and they got a lot of money in the end for Kane, but could have got a lot more if they sold them a few years earlier. Son's another one. It's almost, again, if you're one of the players, why would you even stay there that long? If you're really good as a player, like Son has wasted his career. Wasted his career, because we all know this. You don't become a legend of this game without winning major trophies. You have to win them, because every legend has got them. And I don't know. I feel, I'm not even horror. I feel a bit sorry for him. Maybe it's because my dad's a Spurs fan and I'm a little bit sentimental because of my old man. And I'd love, you know, hopefully he's around for another 20 years, my dad.
But they've got to start doing something though, because
the
I
fans have got to
agree.
do something. You're right.
I agree. I agree with you. That I'm not attacking Tottenham fans or the club. Like, it's irrelevant to me. Yeah, I don't have any beef with Tottenham. But like, I'm just checking now. Yeah, Terry. Yeah, in 2023, Spurs had the 4th highest revenue out of any Premier League club. Yeah. In 2023, Spurs had the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th highest revenue of any European club. There is absolutely no excuses that can be given, yeah, about why they don't win trophies, other than the fact that the owners just don't care and they're not asked. The 4th biggest revenue in the country, the 8th biggest revenue in Europe, and you've won 1 trophy in the last 20 odd years. You've got to. These Spurs fans, I know they don't like this guy, but you've got to, because what happens is, right. I remember watching Spurs channels last year, a couple like weeks into Postecoglou, and all of a sudden everyone goes, all the Spurs fans started going, "Oh, maybe Levy started to learn." No, he's not learned, bro.
Well, but I'm going to say one thing again. Do you remember what was being sung this time last season? We've got our Tottenham back. We've got our Tottenham, and that's a problem. That's what are those things called? Lemons, not lemons. Lemons. We've got our Tottenham back. Got what back? I would say, if we're being honest, Tottenham haven't got their Tottenham back until you're producing something close to what Bill Nicholson was doing, or at the very least, you're a team like in the 90s. They're a good team. You know, they won FA Cups, they won League Cups. They're a good team. Like, at least that level. You can't sing we've got our Tottenham back because you've won 3 of your 4 opening league games. Yeah, like, genuinely. And I've said this about my own club, so I know I'm keeping the energy the same. And I'm telling Spurs fans, I see such similarities between the Glazers and your owners. I really do see big similarities, and it's not a good look. And we've got some super chat.